Hello, dear friends. This is Helen. And from here, we count our blessings for with your regular presence week after week, supporting the work on behalf of the Middle East and West Asia. So blessings. A topic occupied my mind for a few weeks now, since the vote in the United Nations on the existence of a Palestinian state. We in the West hear and identify a lot with the Palestinian problem. The destruction in Gaza, the ethnic cleansing in the West Bank. There are demonstrations and global anti-Israeli sentiments in the Western countries, Europe and the Americas. We didn't see much mass demonstration in the Arab countries, at least in the regular media, although lately public opinion is widely heard and manifested in the Arab countries for a while now. And I have a question that I ask myself and I share with you. What is Palestine for the Arab countries? We shall attempt to relate to this question according to the general blocks that we spoke about a few weeks ago, 1 or 2 weeks ago. The pro-Western bloc, the Iran-aligned resistance axis, and the independent balancer countries. And all, of course, in a nutshell. And we're going to try to figure out some of this complexity. What does Palestine represent for this bloc of the pro-Western Arab states? Before October 2023, the Gaza war, these governments officially backed a two-state solution and the creation of a Palestinian state based on the 1967 borders, with Jerusalem as its capital, and so on. And at the same time, they were moving toward open and quiet normalization with Israel. So, even so, Palestine was always a cause they supported, diplomatically and rhetorically. It was a mobilizing force to preserve Arab legitimacy and satisfy the Arab public. But those countries were not, those governments, let's say, were not willing to let go of strategic ties with Washington and not with Tel Aviv. And they also feared that Palestinian militant groups could inspire opposition at home. So support for Palestine was cautious and separated from armed resistance. The Gaza war in 2023 dramatically deepened the popular identification and solidarity with the Palestinian cause across the Arab world, across those pro-Western states. They condemned Israeli actions, they pushed for ceasefires and humanitarian access. And at the same time, most of these governments did not fundamentally break with Israel or the United States, even though officially they declare non-cooperation, at least with Israel. There's a big discrepancy between what the governments do and what public opinion expresses. This is in the pro-Western states in a big in a nutshell, really, and very, very general. For the bloc of the resistance axis, which refers to Iran-led coalition of militias and states, for this bloc, Palestine has consistently symbolized the vanguard of anti-Israeli, anti-United States, anti-imperialistic struggle opposing Western influence in the Middle East. In 2023, after heavy losses after the war and with the war and massive setbacks, Palestine is still a vanguard of opposition and symbolizes both resilience and vulnerability. And it probably also exposes limits to the Iranian axis. So this is what Palestine means to the resistance axis bloc. And for the bloc in between states, before 2023, even though those states, those who use quiet mediation and want stability over ideology, they support the two-state solution. Culturally and ideologically, Palestine represented a pan-Arab symbol tied to historical Nakba and occupation. Palestine was a rhetorical anchor against Western dominance. After 2023, those countries took an urgent mediator role, viewing Palestine as a shared Arab issue. And they pushed the United Nations recognition of the Palestinian state, and they pushed ceasefires and coalitions and so on. And they turned towards the bridge building idea and action. They turned towards BRICS, a growing sense of autonomy and separation from Western forces that were prevalent for so long. So this is grosso modo an evaluation of the importance of Palestine for Arab countries. And it brings me to ask ourselves, the truth, it's a trial to bring a wider picture. I don't know if I succeed in doing that, but I would like to ask ourselves what Palestine awakens in us through its meaning and its role in the Arab world and in this area in the Middle East that has known foreign dominance for such a long time. So I am with this consideration, share it with you, and and I thank you very much for being here and for hearing us and trying to make sense of things in a wider context. Many blessings. Over to you, Efrat.
Thank you, Helen. Good evening, dear friends. Thank you for your presence. When we refer to this, what the wide Middle East or Western Asia, I will bring another angle. And it's important for me to say that I'm bringing the following remarks from my own understanding of the events, and am not relying on any geopolitical analysis or other professional assessment. Like Helen mentioned and presented here, actually a new structure of three axes operating and influencing the Middle East. Three centers of power. In the old traditional structure, there were two central axes, the West, meaning the US and Western Europe countries, and the East under Russian influence. In this structure, Israel belonged to the West, supported by the US and Europe, and considered the only democracy in the Middle East. In the new constellation, the US, under Trump's leadership, is forming new alliances with Syria, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and the Gulf states. European countries, in response to the severe harm and destruction in Gaza caused by the war between Israel and Hamas following the October 7 massacre, are distancing themselves from Israel and withdrawing their support. In addition, manifestation and expression of anti-Semitism around the world are increasing. Just yesterday, 15 people were killed and more than 40 injured by terrorist attacks at the Hanukkah celebration in Sydney, Australia. As we have presented here, when viewed through the principle of psychothesis, Israel can be seen as a sub-personality of the Jewish people. When we connect all the points presented here, we can surmise how difficult it is for Israel to find its place within this new structure. We leave this reflection here without judgment and with the awareness of the powerful dynamics of the events. We are in the midst of changes, and it's still difficult to predict how the Middle East will take shape. Thank you. To you, Uta.
Thank you very much, both of you, for this in-depth overview from your experience as you are in the middle of it. Yeah, so let us take all this into our meditation. So let's just take a deep breath, settling into our body. Making a silent space in us. Feeling our heart. letting it be purified in harmlessness, so it may be able to hold complexity. Collect our mental forces in the center of the head. And from here, let us expand into an inclusive planetary vision, perspective. Standing as the soul in incarnation, in the will to love. Visualizing ourselves now coming together, reaching out to each other. Sense the heart connection between us. Synchronizing our mind forces. And standing soul to soul as part of the Ajna center of the planet, together with all soul-guided servers everywhere. Standing calm, like on a pinnacle, at the midway point between humanity and hierarchy. Sensing the alignment to Shambhala. The perspective of the will of God for our planet. And in this planetary alignment, let us turn our eyes now towards struggling humanity. Just an overview, observing the forces in motion, the turmoil and pressure of the coming new age. Focusing in now on the region of West Asia. On this solar plexus spot on the planet. Getting a sense of the many powerful forces that are meeting here in this vortex. Just observing, holding, see if we can sense some of the dynamics of the three groupings, the pro-West, the resistance axis, and the balancers. Get a sense of Palestine within that, within this field of high intensity. The pulling and pushing of the various interests and needs. And getting a sense also of Israel within all this. And realizing how West Asia is a playground for humanity's ancient karmic solar plexus issues in general. It's being played out in that hotspot. Becoming aware now of our ashramic co-workers that stand with us. And perhaps in their aura, we may grasp some of the necessary process of transmutation of this condition in West Asia. Let's take a moment to visualize the transformation of conflict into a field of creative tension. Just contemplating this possible process for this zone of complex and turmoil, complexity and turmoil, to transform into a field of creative tension. Let's take a moment for this. The more we can see this possibility and hold it, the more it becomes visible for others. Let us invoke the Lords of Liberation now to help us transmute all that stands in the way and evoke the soul light in humanity to forge together a path for the saving force. Let the Lords of Liberation issue forth. Let them bring succor to humanity. Let the rider from the secret place come forth, and coming save. Come forth, Almighty One. Let the souls of men awaken to the light, and may we stand with massed intent. Let the fiat of the Lord go forth. The end of woe has come. Come forth, Almighty One. The hour of service of the saving force has now arrived. Let it be spread abroad, Almighty One. Let light and love and power and death fulfill the purpose of the coming one. The will to save is here. The love to carry forth the work is widely spread abroad. The active aid of all who know the truth is also here. Come forth, Almighty One, and blend these three. Construct a great defending wall. The rule of evil now must end. See and sense a shaft of pure golden white light, broad and brilliant, flood West Asia. See a huge column of light pouring through all planes. Hold this column steady in the will to peace. See soul light flooding the mental plane of the Middle East. See soul light pouring into the astral plane of the Middle East. See soul light pouring into the etheric physical plane of the Middle East, penetrating into the earth. Joining with the Devic forces, transmuting the ancient records of evil sharing, dissolving and purifying them into the recognition that every human life is sacred. Let us take 1 minute to see this work proceeding. Let us visualize the saving force spreading in West Asia, becoming active in each nation, each ethnic group, each religious group. Visualize the principle of the highest good of all, gradually and steadily taking root, lifting humanity from solar plexus dynamics into the heart. Let us affirm this as we sound the great invocation in Hebrew and in Arabic.
מנקודת האור אשר בדעת אל, יזרום האור אל דעת האדם. ירד האור על פני האדמה. מנקודת האהבה אשר בלב האל, תזרום האהבה אל לבבות אנוש. ישוב מורה עולם על פני האדמה. מן המרכז שבו נודע רצון האל, תנחה תכלית את רצונות אדם. תכלית אותה מורי האנושות יודעים ומשרתים. מהמרכז אשר נקרא המין האנושי, תוגשם תוכנית האהבה והאור ויחתם הפתח אל הרע. יהי רצון, ויחדשו אור אהבה ועוצמה, את התוכנית על פני האדמה. אמן.
من نقطة النور في العقل الإلهي ليشع النور في عقول الناس وليهبط النور إلى الأرض. من نقطة الحب في القلب الإلهي ليتسرب الحب لقلوب الناس وليرجع السيد الآجي إلى الأرض. من المركز الذي تعرف منها إرادة الله لتقود الغاية إرادة الناس البسيطة، تلك الغاية التي يدركها المعلمون ويخدمونها. من المركز الذي نضم بالجنس البشري لينتج تسمين الحب والنور ويختم على الباب الذي يقيم به الشر. يجدد النور والحب والقوة التسمين على الأرض. الله أمين.